Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So finally we are here with the first of our semi-final matches. So every single player that has made it to semi-finals already has earned at the bare minimum $200. We started with 128 players with some of the best players in the world, and now they are battling it out in best out of 7. In other words, first player to reach 4 wins advances to the finals and is going to fight for $800 final prize. So let's get into it. Now, before we go any further, I must say that Beewee did have an issue with his screen recording, and it was a fairly straightforward one. His iPhone just ran out of space because obviously these matches are longer, and typically that wasn't an issue. So when Beewee's match recording will fail at some point later on in the video, we're just going to transition to a full screen of footage coming from Beroman. That being said, Bero is at the top left hand side corner, Beewee is at the bottom right hand side corner here, finishing up his draft and going with Archangel. Again, this is the rich get richer meta, so champions with buff will gain extra power and all that stuff you guys probably know by now by fighting in the victory track or from the first week of Gladiator Circuit. And Beroman's first fight is going to be Sasquatch, obviously always a formidable defender, tanky, top 5 health pool in the game plus additional damage mitigation mechanics. And then we have Korg for Beewee to deal with using Kingpin. Now, Kingpin obviously is perfectly capable of dealing with Korg, but it does typically take, approximately 60 to 70 seconds in vast majority of the cases. And this is going to be kind of a race here, because again, both of these options are safe options. Mr. Fantastic deals with Sasquatch extremely well, unless something extremely unfortunate happens. And obviously, so does Kingpin with Korg. Neither one of these are the fastest options. So cooperative AI here is definitely going to be extremely important. The good thing about Kingpin is initially you can even go with medium intercepts, because unless you make more mistakes further on, you will not have too hard of a time healing up some of the initial damage you take from Korg. And here Beewee goes straight for his level 2, drops that in order to gain his Unstoppable. Thanks to the Unstoppable, you can also gain quite easy light intercept openings, but here he needs to wait out that level 2. Meanwhile, Mr. Fantastic there has managed to get all the way up to his level 2 as well, placing second sets of debuffs, and addition to that has baited out already the 3 level 1s from Sasquatch, gaining the Careful Steady passive, which obviously does help quite significantly with the power gain in these longer fights, and that is definitely quite important. However, Kingpin is doing Kingpin things here, and he is closing in on the finish quite fast. But obviously the final bit of the fight, once you do have all 3 sets of debuffs, is the fastest for Mr. Fantastic. However, Kingpin's already done 67 seconds, exactly within my estimates of in between 60 to 70 second fight. And here we have Mr. Fantastic finishing off this Sasquatch with reversal of willpower, healing and everything else, but it does take 82 seconds, and even though Bero finished with slightly more HP, Beewee does take the first game, the early lead. This is always ever so important for your confidence as well, because nobody likes to start a tournament match with a loss. So let's see how this moves forward here. So again, both of these are extremely skilled players. There's just no question about it. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with Beroman as well, as he has a big YouTube channel, and Beewee is a member of GT40, the best alliance, war alliance currently in the game, obviously home of many skilled players. So I doubt that there can be any kind of like attempt to discredit the skill level or credentials of these players. And interestingly enough, Beroman goes and selects Sunspot against Nimrod. I have never seen that fight. Beewee also has to make a less than ideal matchup here with Hercules, but if I was to place the odds here, I would still think of this as in favor of the Hercules matchup against Dr. Doom. Maybe not now. Maybe not now when unfortunately Beewee did start by eating up a combo to the face. That definitely will not help matters, but Nimrod in this meta is a very scary defender because he does gain all of these extra buffs, and that power gain definitely helps. However, here we have an extremely unfortunate level 2 to the face to Beewee. It is quite unlike him to eat a level 2 from Dr. Doom, and at the same time, he is making progress in his fight. He does need to wait this one out. Hopefully the last hit of level 2 lands after the final there, but Dr. Doom just shoots up to level 3 and this fight is going to be over. So this is definitely, again, less than ideal fights for either one of these players, especially mitigating that power gain. However, Sunspot there is still here at a full health and Nimrod is at 47%. So it is going to be interesting to see how this ends, but obviously at the moment this is basically Beroman's fight to lose, which he hopefully won't. If he gets Nimrod below 31%, then nope. This was such a tight one, but Beroman ends up eating a level 2 to the face and getting KO'd immediately just before he could manage that important 38% threshold. If he had just survived a moment longer, or you know, stalled the clock, so to speak, then he could have taken the win with his HP remaining points as well. But that's why battlegrounds are tense. You never know what's going to happen. You never know, even when you mess up, whether your opponent mess ups even more. So first round goes to Beewee, 2-0. Not the greatest start, but obviously this is best out of 7. There is still plenty of space, plenty of room for a comeback. This is just the very beginning of the duel of these extremely skilled players. And again, huge shout out to Evizone for sponsoring this entire tournament, for being absolutely essential in organizing it, especially to Oliver, who has put in a lot of work to make this entire thing come together. And definitely we all should go and check them out. Open your Evizone account. It is one of the best ways how to get in touch with me as well and send over your video footage. And there will be more interesting projects and collaborations with Evizone in the future. And definitely check them out. They're awesome company to work with. But let's check out with the match now. So we have Beroman using Galen against the Thing, which is a very good Thing counter, typically about a 50 to 60 second fight if all goes well. With Rich Get Richer could be even faster. And then we have Hercules against Kingpin, and that fight also can be done quite quickly. Both of these fights has some room for error. Both of these fights require AI cooperation, without doubt. Unfortunately, here with Kingpin, the initial ramp up of Hercules does not so far seem to have been working out too great, but as long as Kingpin keeps throwing his level 1s, it all should be fine. Here we can see that Bero drops his level 2, places some Incinerates, drops his level 1 now. Thanks to all of that extra power gain, you can basically just spam special attacks. Now, there is a protection that has been triggered, so Bero does have to wait it out, and now it does pass. He is going for his level 1 with 500 of planetary mass, but that leaves Thing with 22% health, whilst Hercules has definitely also equaled the stakes here, ramped up, and finishes his fight off. And there is going to be a fairly few second difference, I would say. Now we have Herc finishing with 93% in 51 seconds. Galen is at the full health, finishes at 62 seconds, but we can see that the time difference was enough. This was, again, extremely close. Less than, 300 point difference in these scores. And Beewee takes this one. So Beewee, again, takes the early lead in their second round. Let's see if Bero can stage a comeback here. Both of them have plenty of options drafted, as we can see. Bero chooses to go with Longshot. Longshot on this meta is a very gnarly defender, because even in a regular, clean, no-node fight, Longshot and his power gain is quite annoying, especially if he's awakened, when he can nullify your dex buffs, and then he gains extra combat power when you have the bad karmas on you. But with these nodes, with his increased ability accuracy, he will pretty much always have that Fury buff active on him. And then on top of that, obviously, he's going to be nullifying your buffs, and it can go dicey. However, we have Dr. Doom as a very, very good counter to Longshot. And then we have CGR going up against Hercules. So obviously CGR is the faster champion, but if Hercules does dash backwards, that Infuriate can mess with CGR mechanics. Plus, if you do not time your immortality well enough, then it can also present some problems. But with Dr. Doom, I'm sure that Dr. Doom will finish this fight off relatively quickly. If I would have to guess, I would say probably around 50 to 60 seconds in this fight, most likely. But it can also quickly go away if Longshot gets level 3. So let's see, CGR here is just about ready to finish the fight. Unfortunately, it seems like immortality triggers might be a thing here. Immortality has triggered. Does Beewee have a way around it? He does not. He does throw his level 1 now, though. Level 1 at this time is also quite useful, not only to stall out the time, but obviously also make sure that you do get the spacing from this unblockable Hercules. And now here we go, 51 seconds, CGR's done with perfect health bar, and Dr. Doom is still in there, still battling that Longshot and his crazy increase in power gains. He is about to finish. It did take him, however, longer than CGR, so Beewee will seemingly take the 2-0 win again, and the start of this tournament, well, the semi-finals, definitely is going Beewee way. So 4-0 against Beroman in totality. That definitely is a very, very good streak, and Beewee is on a roll. However, be reminded that this time around, it's a first player who reaches 4 wins. So there is still some breathing room for Bero. However, it is obviously getting tighter and closer. And if Bero loses this match, then it would be almost impossible mountain to climb. Or almost impossible, I would say. So let's see how this goes. Beewee with a 2-0 lead. And if there is a player who can make this comeback, obviously we know that Bero would definitely be one of those players. So they are finishing up their drafts. This time around, Beroman gets the very last pick, and he is going to go with, going to be quite interesting to see here, with a Gore. Now, Gore is one of my personal favorites as well. Just by the happenstance of circumstances, I ended up taking Gore to rank 4 very, very early on, well before he was available in the featured 6-star crystals. So for quite a while, he was a bit of a rarity in people's decks, and I definitely benefited and enjoyed from that fact. So the first defender here for Beroman to deal with is going to be Thing. First defender for Beewee to deal with is going to be Mephisto. So we're going to have Hercules against Mephisto, and we're going to have Gore against the Thing. Now this is going to be quite an interesting match because Gore is capable of doing things. He's not the fastest, he's not as good as Kingpin and stuff like that, but the trick in these fights obviously is to utilize your massive level 2s to basically get Thing down in kind of like 2 goes. Ideally, you want to get your level 3 with plenty of shadow magic buffs active and some debuffs on Thing. Also, the fact that Gore has access to bleed debuffs does help for Gore to manage the rock stacks of the Thing. And that obviously makes this fight kind of easier. You can see you can go mediums, and you will have guaranteed access to bleed. So he does have 9 debuffs here active. He places another 3. He goes for his level 3, but Hercules here is putting his work. Obviously, Hercules has no way to really mitigate the incinerate damage. However, Beewee does excellent job ramping up his Hercules. He's already at 12 feet of power, drops a massive level 2, which puts Mephisto down to 30%, triggers his healing, and now he just needs to go for it. Obviously, that Infuriate here is doing a very big amount of job, consistently letting Beewee bait out all of the special attacks from Mephisto and having a very cooperative AI, and Hercules is done with 76% health remaining, 52 seconds. Extremely skillful and great fight there. And now Gore does drop his follow-up level 3, and he's just a few HP short. If there only were just a few more debuffs, this fight would have been over. And let's see the score difference. Again, it is decided by less than 400 points. This was such a close fight. Gore did phenomenal job as well at what he was meant to do. 79 seconds. And it could have been 70 seconds there in this case if there was just a couple more debuffs on the thing before the last level 3 was thrown. And it is what it is. Again, extremely tight and close fight, but Beewee takes it. So at this point, definitely I imagine Beroman can't be feeling confident or comfortable. This is not going his way so far at all, but again, there is still time. He can still make a comeback. Let's see. So we have Hulkling on defense for Beewee to take on, and Mephisto on defense for Beroman to take on. Now, we have Guardian going up against Mephisto, which actually is a fairly solid counter. Might not be the fastest counter, but is quite a solid counter, for the reason being because as soon as Guardian is going to regain his armor buff, Guardian doesn't have any other buffs in his kit, and obviously he does have that massive energy resistance, and also having that armor buff will help him offset the richer power gain. So this fight can definitely work out. I have done it in past myself as well. You just need to kind of be relatively patient at the beginning, and then kind of like hold to finish at the end. However, Hulkling versus Hulkling is also not the easiest fight due to all the indestructibles. Hulkling is obviously an amazing offensive champion, but ironically he's not too great against himself, largely due to all of the indestructible stuff, and also the fact that when you strike defending Hulkling, there's quite a lot of healing going on. So all of that can delay and stall the fight. However, here he goes for a level 2, which connects at the perfect time, and Hulkling went indestructible on the very last hit of the level 2, so majority of the damage was delivered. And here, thanks to Rich Get Richer and him winning that race, he's definitely managing to gain quite a lot of power and quite a lot of damage. And it looks good so far. It definitely does look quite good so far for Hulkling, because he finished at 98% health and at a faster time. Obviously here at this point we have Guardian pretty much finish off this fight. Not quite, almost, but not quite fast enough. So Hulkling versus Hulkling takes this W. And it's kind of interesting always, it depends on meta as well, because in some metas, like in this region meta, it was almost impossible to do Hulkling versus Hulkling fights. In this meta, as we can see, it can be done. But now it's the crunch time. Beewee takes 3-0 lead. Now it's now or never time for Beroman. I'm sure nobody wants to get clean swept in a tournament semis like that. But let's see what Bero has in store for us. Now, as we can see, unfortunately, at this point, Beewee's recordings, well, his phone just ran out of space. So we will have to view Beroman's point of view, Beroman's screen. And we can see that Beewee is going to take Ebony Maw with Hercules. Definitely doable fight, thanks to True Focus as well, that allows Hercules to bypass Miss. However, Hercules is a Cosmic Champion with access to plenty of buffs. Maw is a Mystic Champion with access to Mystic Dispersion, so it can go spicy. And Dr. Doom against Korg is a very solid option. It is a very solid counter. However, it is again yet one of those fights where you can effectively, count on it being approximately 60 to 70 second fight. You do need to get your level 3, drop your level 2, and you need to line it all up pretty much perfectly in order to get rid of the rock fields at an appropriate times. And all of that needs to line up. But the good thing, obviously, with Dr. Doom is that there's absolutely no threat from the damage back from Korg, and then also your power control and just in general fight control that Dr. Doom provides makes this fight a very, very safe fight. Here we saw that Beroman perfectly got rid of the rock stacks in order to drop a big level 3. Here we can see that Korg is at 3 bars of power, and Beroman drops his level 1 here. Unfortunately, Oh no, he did get 2 bars of power, so it's all good. He does drop his level 2 with that Big Fury active, and we can see that that Korg is effectively melted down. Took 66 seconds, and that was enough to take the win, because even though Hercules finished faster, clearly he had to eat a special attack or some degens there, and Hercules' health was not unscathed. So Beroman does take a win of this round, and hopefully he can mount a comeback from this point forward. So Beewee places Longshot on defense. Again, very annoying defender, especially in this meta. However, Beroman does have access to Ghost and to Archangel and to Mr. Fantastic here. So all of those are very viable options. And then we have Hulkling, who will have to deal with Hulkling in this meta. Again, is going to be extremely difficult opponent. And Beewee chooses to go with Kingpin. Now, that fight does not look too fun or exciting to me. And let's see who Beroman chooses. He goes with the safest option? No, he goes with the aggressive option. Archangel obviously can melt Longshot, but in this matchup, it definitely will depend on RNG and AI Corporation, because I have seen these fights go badly. I've seen Archangel get absolutely creamed by Longshot in this meta in particular. In defense, in general, obviously, Archangel is a great Longshot counter. Because here we're going to see that the first heavy attack, the Fury buff, is active there, so he already starts gaining all the power. Luckily, he throws his level 1 immediately, which is definitely a very good kind of helpful sign here. And the RNG so far in initial heavy attacks was quite good for Beroman. Unfortunately, though, the follow-up third heavy attack did not place neurotoxins. However, now with 3 neuros, Longshot is confidently ticking away and, most importantly, throwing his level 1s in a timely manner, which definitely will, pretty much seal the deal in this fight. Now, here we can see that Longshot is going all the way up to his 2 bars of power. So now the one thing that you do want to avoid is Longshot getting that good karma, and there, just in time, that finish came just in time, because it could have turned very ugly very quickly with that level 3. So let's see how Beewee does with Kingpin against Hulkling. Again, that will be extremely difficult fight for Kingpin to handle due to all the increased power gain. Typically, Kingpin against Hulkling is quite fine, but with all this extra power gain, it is a completely different fight. So this one goes to Beroman. So Beroman does take the win. I think here we can pretty much openly declare and proclaim of this round. Here we can see that Hulkling didn't even go down. Hulkling fought till the end. So Beroman goes up by 1. Beewee is at 3. And they are going in their 5th match now. Now Beroman definitely needs to keep this one up. Beewee needs just the 1 win. If he wins a match, he advances to finals. Beroman, however, has much longer road ahead of him. So let's see how it all folds out. So we can see that Beroman finished his draft with Galen and Scorpion so far, as his last picks so far. And then we have Beewee picking Scorpion and Dr. Doom. Last pick for Beroman is Archangel, and that means that Beewee will have to place his defender first. So we have Spider-Ham, Thing, Mephisto, Hercules, Hulkling, Scorpion, and Dr. Doom for Beewee. And for Beroman, we have Archangel, Scorpion, Galen, Hulkling, Kingpin, Maw. And who else is hiding in there? Let's see. So the first fight placed on defense by Beewee is the Thing. Beroman places his Ebony Maw on defense, and Beewee is going to go back in with that Hercules. He did make a mistake last time he had to do this fight, as we remember from the previous match, where he finished the fight quickly enough, but he did take quite a lot of degen damage. And here we can see that Beroman is once again utilizing his Galen in order to deal with the Thing. It's again a very good matchup for Galen, very solid matchup. One of those champions that deals with the Thing well, because you don't really need to worry about protection, and you deliver vast majority of your damage with a massive burst. And obviously, having all that extra power gain in these matches now also is quite helpful for Galen to ramp up quickly. and let's see how it works out. Obviously, you still have to manage the rock stacks here for the thing. You can see that you will need to hold your block at times. You need to get in your reparries, stuff like that, just in order to make sure that he does not go unstoppable and ruin your day. And obviously, as with everything fight, cooperative AI is pretty much vital. So here Bero goes for a level 2. Plays some incinerates that do some solid work. Meanwhile, we can see that the thing here is already down at 69%. Now he needs to get in a couple of hits again to just line up those 15 charges. Now at this point, I think Beroman is going to go for his level heavy attack and level 2 detonation. Perfect. Now this was a picture perfect Gallon versus Thing takedown. 51 seconds, 99.8% health. It's about as good as it goes, and this time around, interestingly, Hercules is not coming out of this as fast as he did the time before. Obviously, we don't know the situation with the health bar, but it is quite obvious that Bero does take the win in this round as well. Now he's already opening up the remaining champion windows to see and plan for his upcoming rounds, and here we can see that Ebonimo did hold his own 89 seconds and he managed to KO Beewee's Hercules. So very, very great fight for Beroman to get him back in the groove, to try and, well, catch up to Beewee's 3 wins, and this is the way to do it. Right, so now Kingpin goes on defense here for Beewee to take care of, and Beewee is placing Dr. Doom. Obviously, here we can see that Beroman does have Scorpion and Archangel that can definitely take on this Dr. Doom. Beroman is saving his Scorpion for that Mephisto, and we're going to see Hulkling go up against Kingpin, and this is going to be a race. Again, with Archangel in Rich Get Richer meta, you know, things can go wrong. Dr. Doom can get that Fury buff, can keep gaining power, and you know, if you do have a slightly stingy AI, it's not going to work out well. At the same time, we have Hulkling going up against Kingpin, where the entire fight pretty much entirely depends whether Kingpin throws his level 1s, because you never want to push Kingpin to level 2s unless you have a way to deal with that unstoppable, which typically against Kingpin you don't, because most of the time Kingpin ends up, you know, purifying the slow debuffs and things of similar nature, so you basically almost exclusively have to bait out level 1s against Kingpin. However, here we can see that the fight is going well so far for Beroman. He has taken 10% in block damage. However, there are 4 Neuros actives. He drops his level 2, gets some extra bleeds. Now here Neuro expires and gives him an opening with a stun. And here he takes a couple of hits on a block, which is going to be exactly what he needs to finish this fight out in under a minute. I think it looks about 50-second fight, 49-second fight. However, Hulkling is just a monster. Hulkling is just an absolutely brutal monster, finishing not only faster by 9 seconds, but also with more HP remaining. So Beewee equals out the score in this round, and now very important match for Beroman. This is a must win for Beroman, otherwise Beewee goes to finals and Bero is out. By the way, I didn't mention this before, but the loser of this match still has a match ahead of them, because they will play for the 3rd spot. Just to let you guys know. But now we have Spider-Ham going on defense, and Scorpion versus Scorpion, and Hulkling against Spider-Ham. And here, again, I do think it's quite hard to bet against Hulkling in this meta. This meta in particular, Hulkling is just a beast. There's just no way around it. Hulkling is a monster that can eradicate everything and everyone in 40 seconds or close to it. So here, not the greatest start for Beroman with that evade from the very beginning, because Spider-Ham did dash back and hold block, and that is one way to activate his evade mechanic. That's also typically the easier one to kind of work around. Here, Bero does go directly for his level 2 with 2 Furies. However, at this point, and due to all the power gain, we already have the Spider-Ham evade live, basically. And that power sting damage is definitely going to hurt. Luckily, there is some willpower healing to offset all of that. But here, the safest course of action for Bero is definitely wait out till Spider Nonsense expires. Immediately throw his level 2 to do maximum possible amount of damage. Again, take as much of that willpower healing as possible and just finish this out without the special attack. Throwing that special attack at the end definitely wasn't a great move, throwing himself down to 60% health. However, Scorpion against Scorpion can go wrong. Scorpion is obviously primarily, I would say, an attacker in Battlegrounds, but he can be defensively extremely frustrating with his evade. And let's see how it works out. This is still winnable for Beewee if he finishes with higher health, but he has to do it soon. And he doesn't. The health was actually almost identical there, as we can see. It's just that Scorpion took longer. So Beroman does, in fact, stage his comeback here. 2-3. Now he has almost equaled out the scores. Still an absolute tense situation, because again, Beewee just needs the 1 match win versus Beroman needing 2. So Beewee is still obviously ahead and in much more comfortable position. But nothing's over yet. So here they are finishing up their drafts with Longshot and Clairvoyant for Beroman, and Beewee is going to go for his last champion. That turns out to be Gallon, obviously. So far we have mainly seen Beroman wielding his Gallon in this exchange. However, let's see what kind of use Beewee is going to make from his Gallon. I suspect also utilizing it against the Thing. The first defenders being placed, Mephisto for Beroman to deal with, and Korg for Beewee to deal with. Let's see, Beroman picks Clairvoyant up against the Mephisto. And let's see who is Beewee gonna go with, and he goes Hulkling. Again, Hulkling doesn't have any direct way to bypass Korg's rock stack, rock field damage, but obviously he's a nuke. So even if it isn't a full health bar, then Hulkling is going to finish with, which he can, because obviously Beewee is extremely skilled with light intercepts, and if the AI cooperates, you can finish that fight with a full health. But let's see how fast can Claire do this match, because now Claire has entered the Incinerate phase, which is exactly what you want, obviously, in order to protect yourself from all of the Mephisto damage coming from his aura. And also this match, due to the Fury buff that Mephisto gains, gives something for Claire to nullify, therefore feed the Mystic Dispersion. And we can see that it definitely does help Claire to do very substantial amount of damage quite quickly, quite early on. So let's see how it works out. We have Mephisto at 39% health with his aura still active. Come on, throw that level 1. You always want to bait out that level 1 from Mephisto if possible. Here he's going to go for a double level 1 bait, basically, because of the extra power again that Mephisto got. And he was gaining power himself the entire time. Now, unfortunately, majority of this level 2 damage gets absorbed by Mephisto's kind of like invulnerability phase as he's attempting to heal back up. So let's see. We have 29% health on Mephisto. Now 99% health on Claire. However, the clock is ticking, and the clock is definitely the worrisome part here. Now Claire does go in for the kill. This level 1 should be definitely enough to finish off this fight. However, yeah, we have Hulkling 50 seconds, finished with 88% health. Beewee definitely had a very good Hulkling fight, maybe with some minor mistake there, but Hulkling is just a monster. How many times I can say that? But in Rich Get Richer meta, there aren't many better champions for Battlegrounds than Hulkling. And I think this entire thing has pretty much proved it. Right, let's keep our head straight on the match at hand now. Beroman will have to tackle Nick Fury. Beewee is going to have to go up against the Thing. Beewee does choose to go with Kingpin. And let's see who Beroman is going to select. If I would have to guess, well, we have both Sunspot as a legitimate option here and Hulkling. I wonder what is his thought process here, but he does end up going with Sunspot. Sunspot obviously is an absolutely phenomenal nuke. So this is must-win situation now for Beroman. If Beroman loses this round, Beewee advances to finals. So we have reached that stage of the tournament, that stage of the round, where Beroman just has to win this one. Otherwise, Beewee advances. So here we can see that he quickly drops his level 1 in order to build up his solar flare charges. Now he also manages to get the dex buff in order to equal the buff count and stop Nick Fury from gaining more power from Rich Get Richer. Here he goes for another level 1, and we can see that Nick Fury is down to 50% health. But at the same time, we can see that Sunspot is not doing too healthy on his charges. However, that perfect block is quite nice, helping him purify his incinerates. But well-timed, quite well-timed level 2. Make sure that the second life of Nick Fury does expire quicker, thanks to Despair Mastery. And let's see whether there is enough in it to finish it. We have 11% on Nick Fury. And Nick Fury goes down with 67 seconds remaining, and Kingpin's still in there. And looks like Bero does manage to squeeze in this one. Man, Sunspot can absolutely nuke the Nick Furies. I was extremely worried that Beroman is going to run out of his solar flare charges, and basically that will slow down the last 10-20% of the fight for him. But that didn't happen, and it doesn't seem like Beewee had the best Kingpin fight against the Thing, even though he finishes with 90% health. It's not quick enough. It's not good enough in this case. Very tense yet again. Still a must-win fight for Beroman here. Still everything to lose in this match. So let's see how it is going to work out. How Beroman placing the defense first. He's going with his long shot, which is a very solid placement. And we have another long shot on defense. So we're going to have Guardian against long shot and Gallon against long shot. Now Gallon obviously does have the benefit here of being nullify immune. But whenever Gallon does throw his special attacks, he gains buffs that expire, and a lot of them. If he throws a level 2, there's going to be 4 Fury buffs, 8 buffs expiring, with basically immediately taking Longshot level 3. And if he throws his level 1, there are 4 Fury buffs. Here we can see that Beroman is utilizing a very clever strategy with Guardian. Basically, he just utilized the Rich Get Richer power gain without actually striking Longshot pretty much at all until he drops his level 1. Now, unfortunately, he did get cornered, and he does have to bait out this level 2, or he's going to be in big trouble. And this is exactly what you want to avoid from happening. And here he goes for level 2 with 5 charges, and it just isn't enough. Longshot is at 10%. If there was like one more crit, this was a high risk, high reward play at the end there, and it just wasn't enough. However, there is no telling how that Gallon fight is going. And that's a massive level 3 to knock out Guardian completely. But we can see that Gallon beasted this fight out. I would guess that he went for a level 3, or... Yeah, I actually need to ask him how he did that fight, because that is a very good, impressive clear there by Beewee. And with that, Beewee advances to the finals. Second finalist is going to be decided in between Fintech and Anonymous. And, well, that is going to be up on the channel quite soon. So if you do not want to miss it, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit all the good buttons, because there are some exciting and excellent fights coming towards you. Again, huge thank you to Evizone, huge thank you to all the people participating. You will see another Beroman fight in this tournament when he's going to fight for the 3rd place. with the loser of FinTech versus Anonymous. See you next time.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the